UFC Macau. I'm giving you all my picks for the card. It's your boy, Young Pastey. Welcome back, everybody. Main event, we got Petr Yan versus Deiveson Figueiredo. This is going to be a great main event, and there are a bunch of other great fights I'm super excited to break down. Now, I'm not going to be breaking down the 4 road to the UFC title fights. To be honest with you, I don't consider them UFC fights, and I will not be breaking them down or including them in this video. Another disclaimer. Look, this card starts super early, guys. The prelims start at 1 a.m. Mountain Time. The main card starts at 4 a.m. Mountain Time, so get up if you wish, but full disclaimer, they start extra early. Now, I do have to let you guys know I went 11-1 last week. Are you kidding me? We killed the picks 11-1 last week. So I love it. Now, bets, we were positive too. Plus 0.775 units. So we're positive on both sides. We'll go over the bets in a different video this week. We dropped those on Wednesday. So if you haven't heard, the bets videos drop on Wednesday. But please subscribe, like, share, comment. I would appreciate your support. It really goes a long way. And we now break down UFC Macau, starting with the main event here. Let's get to it, guys. We got Petr No Mercy Yan versus Deiveson Deuce de Guerra Figueiredo. I call him Figgy. We got a great fight here. Petr Yan, a respectable UFC vet, gritty, tough, great boxing, amazing takedown defense. I'm sitting here hyping Petr Yan up, but I ain't even gonna pick him. We got Figgy. That's right, we got my Brazilian. We got my boy who's went up in a weight class, 3 fights up in a weight classes and looked amazing. Okay, every step of the way. Now, the reason I think he's gonna win this fight, again, he has 3 fights in a row. He's on a 3-fight win streak in this different weight class against respectable competition. Look at this: Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt, Cheeto, Marlon Vera. You kidding me? Like, come on now. That is tough competition he's going up against, up in a weight class just like that, beating super tough ranked vet opponents. So look, everyone's gonna say Petr Yan's gonna piece him up, and gonna be able to. And look, Petr Yan's cardio is great too. But everyone's thinking that Petr Yan's just going to steamroll Figgy. Like, that's not going to happen here. All right? Figgy's striking is underrated. Would I say it's better than Petr Yan's? I would just say it's not as technical as his. I mean, Petr Yan is very clean and slick with his shit, has really great movement, but so does Figgy. I think Figgy has a good gas tank. Okay? Would I prefer him in a 3-round fight? Yeah, but he can go 5 rounds. He's fought championship fights. Right? And I think he can even mix in a takedown. Now, I say that with caution. It's going to be very difficult. As I was saying, Petr Yan has some super great takedown defense. You don't really get to see him taken down too much. I mean, like the O'Malley, or not the O'Malley fight, the Merab fight. And that's really, that's that guy's only game, only style. He's a one-trick pony with that pressure wrestling, and that's all he does. So obviously he was able to get him down just like he did with everybody else in the division. He's the champ at the moment. But I think Figgy's striking is underrated in this situation. I think everybody's counting him out. I mean, look, he's a plus 250 underdog. Are you kidding me? Petr Yan's a dame over a 3-1 favorite in this spot. Like, I think Figgy gets the win here. I think he proves everybody wrong in China. I think he moves on and maybe even gets a fucking title shot next. Say it ain't so. Figgy is the pick. We move on. Co-main event. We got Xiaonan versus Tabatha Baby Shark Ricci. Minus 210 for Xiaonan, 2-1 favorite. Tabatha Ricci can be had for plus 175. My pick for this fight is going to be Xiaonan. And I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with this because I actually like Tabatha Ricci. I think she's a pretty solid fighter, but this is a very, very, very large step up in the competition she's faced in the recent past, okay? Xiaonan is slick on the feet. She has really great boxing. I think her takedown defense can withstand Ricci's attacks because Ricci's pretty good on the ground if she can get it to the ground. But notable differences in height and age. All right, 5'5" versus 5'1", and then 29 and 35 there. Even though Jan's a little bit older, I think the experience does her right. And look, she's had some tough fights. I know she's coming off that loss versus the champ, Zhang Weili. But that's the champ, and she's a beast, and she's like no other. And we all knew coming in that she was not going to win that fight, but nevertheless, Tabatha Ricci is not Zhang Weili. So, I think she can withstand the takedowns. I think she has better striking than Tabatha. Tabatha has some underrated striking too, okay? Don't sleep. It was tough for me to pick this, but Xiaonan's the pick. And we move on to the next fight. Ooh. I didn't have to think too much about this one, to be honest with you. We got Song Kenan versus Muslim Salikhov. Hold on. Nicknames? Song the Assassin Kenan. Muslim the King of Kung Fu Salikhov. Now, pick for the fight is going to be Song Kenan. We got the younger fighter. We got the bigger fighter. We got the stronger fighter. We have the faster fighter. Okay? Muslim is 40 years old. I just feel like he's at the point in his career where he's heading towards washland. Alright? Splish, splash, take a bath over there in washland, Muslim. I mean, he got a split decision win over what's-his-face? Ponzinibbio. Which to be honest with you, didn't look the best in the third round. I think Song Kenan has much better cardio than that. I think Song Kenan, again, has a lot better power and is quicker on the feet. He could even throw a takedown in there if he chooses to. I don't think Muslim's shooting takedown at all, to be honest with you. Muslim's going to try and make this dirty. I think he's going to try and get some clinch work on the fence, make it dirty boxing. He knows he's slower than Song Kenan. But also, keep in mind, we're in Macau, right? Song Kenan's from China. So, there might be a little bit of bias. You always have to kind of throw that into the mix because you never really know. But I was surprised to see the odds here. I didn't see them before I actually picked the fight. But plus 150 for Song Kenan. He's actually the underdog? That's crazy. That is actually crazy. Give me Song Kenan. We move on. Next fight, I'm not going to spend too much time on. We have Wang Cong, the Joker, versus Gabriella Fernandes, Gabby. The pick is Wang Cong. We got the Joker in this fight. This girl's something different, guys. This girl is something different. I don't know if y'all saw her last fight. It was a brutal knockout on her UFC debut. And yeah, she looked clean, dude. She had such great movement. Her power is nasty, and I ran back the other fights too in her professional MMA career, and it just looked the same. Gabriella Fernandes stands absolutely no chance. Man, when I wrote down these odds initially, Wang Cong was at minus 600. She is now at minus 950. She is almost a 10-1 favorite. Are you kidding me? And that ish is just going to keep climbing and getting higher. Wow. Okay. That's crazy. Fernandez plus 550. I don't know the odds yet, and we'll talk about it in the bets video, but some degen-ish, just a little preview. Gabby by sub. We haven't seen Wang Cong tested on the ground at all, so you never know how that looks down there. Anyway, picks Wang Cong, the Joker. We move on to the next fight. And I'm excited for this fight too. This is going to be a good one here. We got Volkan Oezdemir versus Carlos Ulberg. Nicknames: No Time versus the Black Jag. And whew, with a nickname like that, you got to give me the Black Jag. Now, it's not just the nickname here, and that's not why I'm just picking Carlos Ulberg. My dude's something different, bro. My dude is something different. Look at this. He's getting to finishes in the UFC, right? Almost a 5-fight KO streak. He's a 5-fight finish streak at least. All of his fights are by damn near a finish. His only loss in the UFC was to Kenan, which, look, you can get fucking knocked out by him. He's got some power, but, look, Carlos Ulberg is bigger, quicker, faster, stronger. Daft Punk. That's why I'm picking him, man. It's crazy. Volkan knocked out Johnny Walker in his last fight, but Johnny Walker, I mean, we all know, but Johnny Walker is chinny. Okay, that's a very chinny fighter, so I wouldn't put too much stock into that fight. I can just see Carlos Ulberg knocking him out. He could sub too. He's live for the sub. If he gets this shit to the ground, he can wrap up a neck real quick. That's not out of the picture here. But I'm a big fan of Carlos Ulberg. Man, y'all will see it when he gets into the octagon. My dude is on a different level, okay? Do I see him fighting Alex Pereira? Whew. He has I think he has a couple more tests to pass to even get up to that point. Nevertheless, Carlos Ulberg is the pick. We move on. All right, we got Zhang, Mountain Tiger Mingyang versus Ozzy, one-hit Diaz. Now, first off, my pick's going to be Zhang Mingyang. But what I was getting back to here, Ozzy one-hit Diaz. I think I'm just thrown back because the last fight I saw with him in the Joe Pyfer fight in the Dana White Contender Series, that was no one hit. We got all the way to the second round. You were kind of getting bodied up until then. Anywho, my reasoning for my pick on Zhang is this dude is also tough. I kind of want to see him versus Carlos Ulberg. I don't know who I'd pick in that one, to be honest with you. But Zhang Mingyang has much, much, much more power than Carlos Ulberg, to be honest with you. This dude is wild, man. He's getting some nasty, wild knockouts. Ozzy Diaz might have a path to victory here if he makes it gritty and dirty and tries to kind of wrap him up and do some dirty wrestling and maybe even get some takedowns, but I think Zhang Mingyang has better striking. He can withstand the takedowns. He has a wider base, right? I think he's wider in the chest and you'll see he's thick in the legs. Ozzy Diaz does have a bit of a reach advantage and a little bit of a height advantage, but he lacks the muscle in those areas that Zhang Mingyang has. So when it comes to physicalness, I think Zhang Mingyang has an edge there. Violentness. Zhang Mingyang is more violent, to be honest with you, than Ozzy Diaz. So Zhang Mingyang by KO. That's live. But he's the pick for this fight. It's going to be a good fight. We move on. We're skipping these fights, guys, as I was saying. We are not doing these road to the UFC title fights. But we are doing this one here. We have Nyamjargal Tumendemberel versus Carlos Hernandez. I'm just going to call him Nyamjargal. I'm probably saying his name wrong, and I do apologize. But just because I'm saying your name wrong don't mean I ain't going to pick you, because he is the pick for this fight. We got Nyamjargal. This is his UFC debut. He's going up against Carlos Hernandez. And guys, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. This is more of a fade on Carlos Hernandez than it is a pick on Nyamjargal, even though I am kind of intrigued and excited to see him fight in the UFC. I tried looking for tape. I couldn't find any. Maybe it's just me. But nevertheless, I based it upon stats on Tapology. I based it upon pictures off Instagram. I based it upon a fade on Carlos Hernandez. And, I just looked at the guy. He doesn't have a picture, but he looks like a fucking killer. He looks like a killer. He's from Mongolia. His attack and his style and fighting, he has a very wrestling-based attack. Just like these other Mongolians have, right? And I think that's where Carlos Hernandez's weak spot is. And I think the UFC is trying to push this Mongolian into the UFC. Look, he's hungry, man. He is hungry. He was also on the road to the UFC, but this is an actual UFC fight. This is no road to the UFC title fight. Right? I think Carlos Hernandez has put up a good fight in the UFC. If he could fraud check this guy and he's like, okay, are you sure you want to come into the UFC and maybe get a knockout? I doubt it, though. If Carlos Hernandez wins, I feel like it's by decision, but man, Nyamjargal is going to get the takedowns. I feel like it's going to be a 3-round decision by Nyamjargal or maybe a 2nd-round submission. He has a little bit of a reach advantage, and I think his physique and his look and his body. It's like, even though it says Carlos Fernandes is an inch taller, my dude he looks pretty big for this division. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I got Nyamjargal for the pick, and I'm not mad about it. We move on. All right, hey, Lonir Kavanagh versus Jose Ochoa. I'm going with Lonir. Look, I know he's a little bit of a shorty, 5'4". But man, my dude looked pretty nice with the striking in his Dana White Contender Series. I could see him mixing in some feints, and he could even probably get some takedowns in. Now, I was running back some tape on Jose Ochoa, and he is a little bit bigger than Lonir. 23 is crazy. These guys are some young fighters here. But Lonir has power, man. Lonir has some serious power. That knockout on Dana White Contender Series was nasty, man. Run it back, guys. It was nasty. Okay? Jose Ochoa's UFC debut. He's not, it's been all regional fights in Peru up until this point. Hold on, nicknames. Jose Ochoa's nickname is Calcifer. I don't know what that means. Anywho, Lonir's the pick. I think he pieces him up with the striking. It could go 2-3 rounds. I could see him getting a knockout on Jose. This is a huge step up in competition for Jose from his regional fights to a serious fighter like Lonir. Lonir's also training with, Nathaniel Wood over in England. So he's in a pretty good camp over there, training with some elite fighters. Lonir, by KO if you're crazy. All right. 2 more fights. We got Xiaonan versus Quang Lee. Quang Bang Lee. I like the nickname. But it doesn't sway me. I'm sorry. We got Xiaonan in this spot. Now, I know he lost in his last fight. To be honest with you, I think he took that decision. This guy's a tough fighter. 26, and he's 26-8. That's how many professional fights he has. This dude has mad experience, bro. So he's seen everything in the octagon. So I trust his vetness. Now, Quang Lee's 33, 8-1, coming off of a loss to He took a short notice fight with Chris Gutierrez and took a beating for 3 rounds. I gave him respect for taking the fight, but my dude got his ass whooped. I'm sorry. I don't think this is going to be an ass whooping. I think it's going to be a competitive fight. I think Xiaonan is going to have the bigger moments in the fight. I think that sometimes it's a double-edged sword with him, with his fighter IQ. Sometimes it can get in the way, but sometimes you're just like, damn, he's on point with everything. So I just hope that when the fight is actually playing out, Xiaonan can realize, okay, this is what I need to do to win these portions of the fight, or make the adjustments needed to continue. Because sometimes you can see him. You can see him in spots, and you're like, dude, do this, do this. Like, why are you doing this? Why do you continue to keep doing this? You're getting your butt whooped in this certain part of the situation. So it's like, that's really my only concern with him. But he's tough, man. He's tough. He's seen it all in the fucking octagon. I just have faith in my boy. And he's from China, right? Quang Lee's Vietnamese. No disrespect anywhere, but hometown bias. We got Xiaonan. And we move on to the last fight. Whew. Maheshate versus Nikolas Motta. Nikolas Iron Motta. Minus 210 for Maheshate, plus 175 for Nikolas Motta. We got Nikolas Motta in this spot. Now, both of these guys have been caught in some suspect situations in their past. Okay? I know that Motta's a little bit smaller than Maheshate, but the reach advantage is there. And when it comes to like legs and things like that, it's pretty much similar too. So the height advantage doesn't really concern me at all. But I honestly think Nikolas Motta has the power and the entryways to get to Maheshate. I think Maheshate is tough. I think he just takes on too many shots at some points. Motta's nice, man. I think he's slick with the striking. I believe this is going to be a stand-up striking match, guys. I don't think this is going to go to the ground. It could. I think Maheshate would be the one to be kind of initiate that, to be honest with you. But due to violence, due to this, I think just the power and striking advantage, we got Nikolas Motta in this spot. And that ends the pick video. It's 10 fights I went over. There are 4 other Road to UFC fights I did not go over. So if you choose to watch those and pick those, more power to you. Now, again, the bets video drops on Wednesday nights. So stay tuned for Wednesday night. I'm dropping all of the official bets that I'll be doing. This is just the picks video. Again, I mean, just because I pick someone doesn't mean I bet them. Just because I bet on someone doesn't mean I picked him. So stay tuned for Wednesday nights. The bets video is awesome, live, and lit. And again, if you made it this far, I appreciate your support. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a comment, give me a share. I would appreciate all your support. Young Pastey out. Let's get this cash.